Well, we are going to be looking at the question before you very quickly. But before then, let me just quickly introduce you to some of the concepts, or let me bring to your remembrance some of the concepts that you need to be able to solve this question. And one of them is actually from indicial law. Some of the indicial laws, let me just bring it to your remembrance quickly. For example, if we have 2 root 2 or root 3. Now, if I want to find a way of bringing this, because we'll have to do some manipulations, if I want to find a way of bringing these 2 into the root, all I just need to do is just, make it square. Something like it's 2 square multiplied by 3. And that will actually be the same as what I have on the left. The reason being that if I'm solving from from right to left, it's the same thing as square root of 2 raised to power 2 multiplied by square root of 3, which also gives us 2 root 3. So we're actually back where we started from. So you need to understand this because we're going to be using this. Then secondly, you also need to know that in indices, this first one actually has to do with sort. Now, the second one is about indices. In indices, when you have x raised power 2 raised power of 3, the law of exponents in indices states that you can multiply all the powers together. So that you have x raised power 2 multiplied by 3. So we'll be using these two laws that we are familiar with so that we can arrive at our answer. So let's just dive into it quickly. Now the first thing you do is this: you have x raised power of 3n plus 1. So first thing we do is let's find a way of bringing this term inside this root so that we can simplify the both of them together. So in order for us to do that, like I said, just like we did there, all we just to do is just to square what we have outside. So this will become x raised power 2n. The roots now will cover all. X raised power 2n plus 2.5. Then we square the power raised power of 2. Then multiply by x raised power of 2n minus 3. So like we said, the law of exponents states that you can multiply the whole of the power. So this will now become x raised power of 3n plus 1 divided by square root of x raised power of 2 multiplied by 2n plus 2.5. Then multiply by x raised power 2n minus 3. So if you simplify this further, this will then give us x raised power of 3n plus 1 divided by square root of x raised power of, let's expand this, 2 multiplied by 2n will give us 4n. Then this 2 multiplied by this 2.5 will give us plus 5. So we have plus 5 multiplied by x raised power 2n minus 3. Also, the law of multiplication in indices states that if you have x raised power a multiplied by x raised power b, the law of multiplication states that you can add the power so long the base, so long you have the same base, you can add the power. So x raised power a plus b. So in that light, this becomes x raised power 3n plus 1 divided by square root of. So we need to add the power. So we have x raised power of 4 raised power of 4n plus 5 plus 2n minus 3. So by the time we collect like terms, this automatically gives us x raised power 3n plus 1 divided by square root of x. 4n plus 2n will give us 6n. Then 5 minus 3 give us 2. Of course, we can factorize this. So let's just finish it up here. Let me clean up this. So we can factorize. So we have x raised power 3n plus 1 divided by square root of x raised power of 2 into bracket 3n minus 1. And of course, this root we take out this square. Then we can have x raised to power 3n plus 1 divided by x raised to power 3n minus 1. Now, if you follow this division law in indices, when you have the same base, then you can subtract the power. So that implies that this will automatically become x raised to power 3n plus 1 minus. Now, you need to be careful when you're applying these negatives because it has to affect both 3n and minus 1. So if I were you, I'll put this in brackets 3n minus 1. Then this will now give us x raised to power 3n plus 1. Use this negative to open the brackets, so it becomes minus 3n plus 1. So this will take out this. Then we can now have x raised to power 1 plus 1. Therefore, the answer to that expression will be x raised to power 2. And that's the answer. So you can see it's quite tricky, but very easy to comprehend. So that'll be all for now. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it's actually very interesting to you. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.